Israel, Gaza. Let's talk about it.
Well, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is defending the State Department's decision to suspend all visitor visas for people from Gaza, including children in need of medical care. Speaking on Face the Nation yesterday, Rubio said the way visas are granted would be, quote, reevaluated. He also claimed several congressional offices put forward evidence that some of the organizations facilitating the visas have links to terrorist groups like Hamas.
We don't give a F. If these are children that are hurt, thousands of children are dying and need hospital and medical care, and there's no hospitals in Gaza because Israel are, I'm gonna keep it specific, Netanyahu's government, Bibi Netanyahu's government has destroyed them all. Hospitals, any kind of education facility, they destroyed all of them in the name of searching for Hamas. So you telling me that Hamas is still active? You telling me that everything that's been done over a year, over 50, 60, some reports over 70,000 women and children under the age of 18 have been slaughtered in the name of October 7th and defending and defeating Hamas. And you telling me that today we still worried about Hamas? So all that shit been for nothing. We still worry about Hamas. Hey, we know those children need help, but we ain't gonna bring them over here because Hamas might still be around. So what the fuck are they doing?
In Israel, thousands of people took part in a nationwide strike yesterday.
Look at that.
They're demanding an agreement between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government and Hamas to end the war and release the remaining hostages. CBS News Middle East reporter Courtney Keeley joins us now for more on this from our...
Look at that. Hold on. Look at that. We talking about America. Oh, we don't know if the Israelis want it. Look at this. Hold on. Look at how many goddamn people this is. This is an Israeli protest. This is not Hamas. It's not Gaza. This is Israeli people are out there. Look at that. As far as the eye can see, you can't even see the pavement. It is fucking people. They do not want to be part of this. They do not want the Israeli people have such a great history, such a traumatic history. And we as black people especially can understand that, right? Slavery and, Native Americans can understand that, especially if you've been through something. I don't give a fuck if you Irish and they got they had their own thing and with religious battle. If you people have been through something, then you understand this. They are doing this. BB is doing this in their name, talking about like for them, like it's for them. And they're sitting here saying, no, nah, we don't want that. We're God's people. They believe that they're the people of God. The Israelis believe that they're the people from the Bible that they talk about. That God, that Jesus was born into their goddamn fold. He went out and did his own thing, right? But Jesus was a Jew. And they saying, no, don't do this. What are you talking about? So any Americans sitting here justifying this, oh yeah, but Hamas. What about the women and children? More than half of Gaza was women and children under the age of 18. What are we talking about?
Demanding an agreement between Prime Minister. Reporter Courtney Keeley joins us now for more on this from our Washington bureau. Courtney, good morning. These protests in Israel over the weekend were massive. What more can you tell us about them? And are they likely to pressure Netanyahu into reaching a ceasefire?
Hell yeah.
Good morning, Michael. These protests seem to be in the tens or hundreds of thousands from the aerial views. Now, Sunday is a work week for Israel, and this was a national strike, as well as culminating into a rally to bring the hostages home. The point of this was to protest against Prime Minister Netanyahu's military plan to go further into Gaza and military moves into Gaza City and possibly have a military occupation of all.
If you believe that this is still about the fucking bringing home the hostages, you're a lie. They're in cahoots. Netanyahu and the leaders of Hamas. Remember, the leaders of Hamas is not there. They're not in Gaza. It's only people. The leaders are outside of the country getting millions of dollars, making moves and calling shots. They're not there. He's not going to kill a top leader of Hamas in Gaza. They're not there. They're in all the surrounding territories, probably some in Europe and maybe the U.S. too. Who knows? This is not about the hostages. You think they're not getting paid to keep the fucking hostages there because they're making money off of this? Any terrorist organization would be like, okay, listen, we're going to release all the hostages so you can stop bombing our people. It's not about the people. Israel Netanyahu doesn't care about the Gazans, and Hamas doesn't care about the Gazans. If they did, they would have released all the hostages. Like, come on. We don't even know if the damn hostages are alive at this point. It's not about them. Oh, so you're going to kill a whole people? You're going to kill hundreds of thousands of people because you got less than 10 people still missing? It's not about them. if Hamas really wanted this war to be over, they would look and say, look, we gave up all the hostages. Look, they still bombing us. No, but they still got hostages, right? For what reason? Because Netanyahu ain't tell them to release them. That's why.
Of all of Gaza, they want the hostages home. This was in solidarity with all of the hostages' families. And a colleague, former colleague and a source of mine, did tell me that they think it worked because the amount of criticism coming from Prime Minister Netanyahu and his ultra-right coalition was intense after this show of support.
Damn, look, they pulling them. We think we got problems. The Israelis don't want this. Look at the military being used against their people. If this was the U.S., we'd be like, oh my God, Trump called in the National Guard. Oh my God. Look at this. They don't want this. The families of the hostages don't want this no more. What is Netanyahu going to come and say? Oh yeah, I know that they don't want, but they don't know nothing. We're going to make the best decision for them. They're not thinking correctly. This will lose the steam. The whole thing is bringing the hostages home. We want it. Blah, blah. But if they say, yo, we don't want it. We don't want this blood on our hands. Stop it. Then how can he continue? How could the U.S. back him? This needs to be over with. President Trump, just stop this bullshit, man. Come on, stop letting Netanyahu run the fucking country. Like, this is insane. This is insane. Any logical people, this is literally why I created this channel, From the Cave with Saladin Ellis, because these people are living in La La Land. They're in the cave. These people, the most of the people are in the cave and they're looking at the shadows on the wall. The real stuff is happening behind them. And they're looking at the wall. Oh, yeah. Or most Americans ain't got time to look at it. Yeah, I'm working myself, man. I ain't got time to know what's going on in Gaza. Or yeah, I was about to get fired. I need it's prices of high gas. They worry about themselves. But people like me and you that's watching this, we care about this.
They stopped the major highway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem and other major highways. The protest was quite something yesterday, Michael.
Now, Courtney, I want to ask about this. This morning, Amnesty International is accusing Israel of carrying out a, quote, deliberate campaign of starvation in Gaza. Now, Israel has rejected claims of widespread starvation in the enclave. Let's talk about the reality of the situation on the ground.
Hey, it's not widespread. It's just a couple pockets over here and over there. They starving, but not widespread. It's localized starvation, right?
Well, Amnesty's report really follows along with so many other reports, including Israeli human rights groups that have been saying that the starvation and lack of medical care is a different version of a genocide. Now, they did say the number of the testimonies of displaced and starving civilians underscores a deliberate outcome of plans and policies that Israel has designed and implemented. We do have word from Jose Andres from the World Central Kitchen, who was inside Gaza and spoke to Margaret Brennan on Face the Nation just yesterday.
In the places we know we are feeding, we are doing around 200,000 meals a day, but this is only 10% of the need. That's what we are trying to increase. I can say that where we are, obviously, people are being fed at the bare minimum. It's not everything they should be receiving, but at the very least, they're receiving a piece of bread and a piece of food. But we need much more aid. We need to make sure that the aid is never interrupted again.
Well, the aid is interrupted, and over 100 aid groups have been pleading for Prime Minister Netanyahu to not stop any more of their certification to go in and to allow them to go in. We're looking at 2 million people. I am talking to sources who are living in tents, and if they do get aid, which is minimal, they also have to face black market prices because of the breakdown of the rules.
Black market prices. They selling. Where people can do crime, they will do crime. This is nonsense. Like, what can you say about, how can you even justify this at this point? Like, my heart breaks thinking about these goddamn kids over here. Like, they have to beg Netanyahu not to stop the aid. Hamas still that strong that they got the U.S. Aid coming over there in different places, and they need to make sure. Like, who gives a damn if Hamas fighters get some fucking food? But for every 1,000 kids we feed, 20 Hamas fighters getting some food too. We don't give a fuck. And I'm cursing because of emphasis. So somebody say, oh, why are you cursing? Because it emphasizes how angry I am at Netanyahu. I don't even know if I could stand in front of Netanyahu and watch him lie. Like, if me and him went on like Piers Morgan Uncensored or something, I would chew him the fuck out, like, respectfully. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? And I wish one of our American politicians would fucking say something crazy or come to his aid. This is ridiculous. Like, this needs, I don't know if it's in the back, they in the White House saying, hey, stop this, let's stop this, let's stop doing this. And I don't know, but it ain't working. So we're gonna have to get on the ass. Fuck Israel as our ally. Like, I love all people, all human beings. This is nasty. Like, this is like Russia, Ukraine is one thing, but we need to stop that. Like, I feel like they keeping that going, because if it stopped, it would be so much pressure to stop this one too. But it's like, this is coming to an end. I hope Putin don't keep playing these games, and I hope he just stop it. Like, okay, cool, we stop it. They get whatever they need, and the Ukraine get whatever they need, and then we can focus on Israel and get Netanyahu out of here. I cannot wait till Netanyahu's on trial. I promise you, I will cover that shit from the start to the very end. Like, that shit, like, it reminds me of Saddam Hussein. Like, he needs to be publicly. I ain't gonna even go there. I'm not gonna even go there. He needs to put on trial, and the trial needs to be public. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if I want somebody in the comments to tell me how Israel is doing the right thing, how Israeli government is doing the right thing. Once again, it is not the Israeli people. You've seen them outside. They're protesting, and their heart is breaking for these people. All the rest of the hostages' families were there protesting against. What is he going to say? The only thing he could say is, look, we don't give a damn what they saying. We're going to do this. Let me know what y'all think, Cave Dwellers. This is sad. My heart breaks for the children and the people of Gaza that's barely getting what they need, only 10%. They feed 200,000 meals, and it still ain't enough. It still is scratching the surface. Gaza is the most tightly packed corner of the world, they say. On the earth. There's more people in that small vicinity in Gaza than anywhere else in the world. That is crazy. They're tied in there like a goddamn sardine can. And they all getting struck, and there's no safe places to go for them. Let me know what y'all think, Cave Dwellers. This is